Here's a quick and refreshing meal to beat the summer heat, even though it's mid-August and it still feels like summer. Is mid-August summer? I don't think so. Anyways, I thought it was fall, but who knows? I don't know. Today's dish is cold soba noodles with whatever side dish you prefer. I'm going with dumplings, but you can easily pair it with a fillet of salmon for like a more substantial meal, or some grilled veggies if you're feeling healthy. The broth is super simple to make, just add a few ice cubes, but don't overdo it or you'll dilute the flavor, then mix in the water and a little bit of shoyu broth. Start small with the shoyu since it's concentrated. Toss in some dried seaweed bits and dab of wasabi and your broth is ready. For the noodles, you just cook them according to the package instructions, then rinse under cold water and that's it. This meal takes just about as long as it takes to boil the noodles and it's surprisingly refreshing. Lately, I've been thinking about getting a new chair. The one I'm using right now is a $100 Amazon special, and I've had it for like 4 to 5 years. So as you can imagine, the cushion is completely bottomed out by now. But honestly, that's not even the main reason I'm looking for an upgrade. I can deal with the cushion. The real reason is really my back. So my back started hurting and I think it's because of the chair and it just doesn't have enough lumbar support. So I went down this rabbit hole of ergonomic chairs and man, some of these cost upwards of $2,000. Like the Herman Miller Embody Logitech one, for example, it costs around that much and apparently it's not even perfect. People say it squeaks when you move around, which isn't what I would expect at that price point. Most importantly, spending $2,000 on a chair is kind of insane. Like you could buy a new laptop for that. But yeah, I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on one of these expensive chairs during Black Friday. If anyone has recommendations, feel free to let me know. One topic I've been really fascinated by lately is ergonomics. Like I recently decided to invest in an expensive ergonomic chair because I've heard how important it is for posture and comfort. The main things I was looking for was a breathable back and the ability to tilt the chair forward. After doing a bit of research, I bought the Hayworth Zodi fully loaded for about $700 from Crandall Office, which specializes in authorized Hayworth returns. Now I'm looking into ergonomic keyboards and let me tell you there's a ton of options out there. One of the layouts that caught my eye was the Alice layout, which curves the keys in a way that's meant to really make typing feel more natural. But then there are also split keyboards, which really seem to take things to the next level. Honestly, I'm leaning towards the split keyboard. My logic is that if I'm going to get an ergonomic keyboard, I might as well go all the way and get one that's the most ergonomic. The problem though is the one I'm really interested in, the Glove 80. I'm currently on the market for a new pot because the one I've been using to make, all of my ramen has the coating peeling off. Honestly, I probably should have replaced it a while ago, but here we are. I guess you could say I've been enjoying my daily dose of carcinogens. One type of pot I know I won't be buying is ceramic. I've had enough of this ceramic frying pan I'm using to cook the dumplings and eggs. Like everything sticks to it no matter what I do. Like you saw me pour a decent amount of oil and made sure to spread it evenly, and still I can't even cook a fried egg without it sticking all over the place. The worst part, this pan isn't even that old, which makes it even more frustrating. At this point, I think I'm leaning towards, getting a stainless steel pot. It seems like the better choice in terms of durability and avoiding all the hassle. Hopefully there will be some sort of Black Friday deal or holiday deal for a good stainless steel pot. Every so often, I find myself spiraling into a quarter-life crisis. I'm 26 now and have a decent job and I'm just vibing, but there are moments where I stop and think, what am I even doing with my life? It feels like there are two types of people at my age. The ones who are fully settled down with kids and a mortgage, and the ones going on these exotic trips trying to really discover themselves. And then there's me, just chugging along with my 9-to-5 job, stuck somewhere in the middle. I've always dreamed of taking a year-long sabbatical, traveling, and focusing more on YouTube, and just, taking time to rest. I mean, I can always come back to work later, but once I have a mortgage or other obligations, I will never have that chance to just pause and do nothing for a year. Sometimes I feel, I'm just vibing my way through life, but part of me really wonders if I'm missing out on, something bigger while I'm still young. It's hard to not think about whether I should be doing more, but yeah. If you have been following my career path, you know I was laid off around mid-September of last year due to an acquisition. Thankfully, I had a job lined up since after months of declining sales, I saw the writing on the wall and started looking. But something unexpected came out of that job, something I never imagined I would do, which is hanging out with my coworkers. In the product department, there are 3 of us based in the US and 2 of us were let go. During my 3 years there, I guess we really hit it off. We were all in our early 20s and we just clicked. Fast forward to post layoff, and now we meet up about every 2 months. It's mostly to catch up and trash talk our current companies, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, during these discussions, one thing that always sticks out is realizing that no matter where you go, every company has its fair share of dysfunction. Honestly, I never thought I would willingly enjoy hanging out with the coworkers, but here we are. So I'm currently looking to buy a place, and as someone who's lived with his parents until 26, I'm pretty proud to say that I've saved up for down payment, assuming the stock market doesn't suddenly tank. But yeah, living in the suburbs of Illinois, it's always been a dream of mine to buy a condo in the city, but financially, man, it doesn't really make sense. Like, looking at condos on Redfin and Zillow, I've noticed they've barely appreciated in value over the last 10 years. Factor in inflation and what S&P has done during that time period, and it's honestly not a great picture. But the worst part are these HOA fees. They're like $600 a month minimum, and I'm sitting here thinking, is this even normal? Then you add Chicago's property taxes, and you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 a month in expenses for a 2-bed, 2-bath condo. I guess I could rent, but at the same time, do I really want to be renting when I can afford a down payment? It's a tough call. So how's everybody doing? Honestly, I'm just vibing. Work's been pretty decent. I feel like I found my footing and day-to-day tasks have been going pretty smoothly. There are moments when I feel a little lost, but now that I have a product roadmap in place, I'm hopeful that it will bring more structure to my daily routine. Outside of my work, I've been just vibing as well. Recently, I've been debating whether to spend, $80 on a yearly subscription fee to Crunchyroll. I've been itching to get back into anime, and at this point, that itch is turning into a full-blown rash. It might be time to cave in, but we'll see. On a different note, I'm also getting hyped about Nintendo's Switch 2. I've never owned a Switch, but games like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild look pretty good. When the OLED version came out, I considered getting it, but I decided to wait for the next iteration. Now the question is whether I'll finally overcome my cheapness and actually buy one. I think there's one downside to remote work, but before I get to that, let's talk about the benefits. About 5 months ago, I switched from a hybrid position to a fully remote role, and honestly, not having to commute during the rush hour has been a game changer. Sitting in traffic for an hour on what should be, a 30-minute drive is just awful, especially after a long day. And the drive home, somehow it's even worse than the morning. You're already tired and then you're stuck in traffic. But here's the downside of remote work. I have literally 0 quote-unquote coworker friends. I work with people, but it's strictly work. I guess it's harder to talk about, non-work stuff over Teams, so it feels like, there's no real connection. I have a show coming up soon, and I don't even know anyone I'll be exhibiting the booth with. I guess it doesn't help that, my company is a massive Fortune 500 organization as well, but, oh well. So, I recently got a new boss. My old boss was a senior director, and ever since he started building out his team, he was always looking for someone between him and me to take over as my direct manager, because apparently he's too busy for me. But yeah, now I have a new boss, and she's based in Sweden, which means we have a 7-hour time difference. She does have a lot of experience, probably comparable to my old boss, so that's reassuring. What's funny though is, I've heard from the engineering department, they keep shutting down my projects, and one of the main reasons is because they just don't have enough people. But, we see the product team hiring left and right, and something just doesn't add up. But hopefully the product team doesn't get axed later because we overhired, but I guess we'll see how it plays out.